This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring. Outside the ring. It's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on. And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Welcome back to the Universal Wrestling Podcast. My name is Nick. His name is Keith. You are watching our 2023 WWE Crown Jewel predictions. Keith, let's get to it. As WWE heads towards the end of 2023, attention turns to Saudi Arabia. WWE will host the 2023 edition of Crown Jewel in Riyadh on Saturday afternoon. The card is beginning to take shape with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins defending their world titles against LA Knight. Keith, give it to me.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre, respectfully. But Keith, the champion that's carrying the biggest burden is your girl, is Rhea Ripley, the Women's World Championship.
Mommy.
The Women's World Champion has her hands full against 4 title challengers in one match. And of course, John Cena is here and will go one-on-one with Solo. But enough about the event, Keith. Let's talk about it before we get to the predictions. What is your hype level? How do you like the build-up to the PLE? Give it to me, brother.
So, I got to be honest. I normally, with the Saudi shows, I'm always because, especially early on with them and stuff, they were kind of more or less almost like glorified house shows. But I feel like that's changed a lot recently. And this is honestly the first card in a while that I'm some of these are really tough to call. I don't know why it is. I don't know maybe it has to do with the build. Maybe it has to do with what I think is going to happen getting toward Mania and Survivor Series and stuff. But something about this one makes me feel like there's going to be some stuff going down more so than they have in the past. I know Goldberg beat The Fiend in Saudi Arabia and stuff back when, but I just, without spoilers, before we get into our predictions, I think there's going to be some stuff going down. I'm real hyped. My hype level is pretty high for this one. Really hoping I can clear the schedule out and be back from grocery shopping on Saturday early enough to sit down and watch it live.
I love it.
We'll see what happens.
And Vince,
what about you?
Yeah, Vince was there this week with Taker.
Yeah, that
saw
was wild.
The boxing match. He said, Frank, he said it. He said, this new stadium, this new arena is home for the WWE. I don't know if that was off script. I don't know if that was a shoot. I don't know what it was. I don't think he talked with Trips. I don't think he talked with, the founder and the CEO of, Endeavor or now TKO. I think it was just kind of ad lib and he just said it. I don't know what that means, but it seems like that's a pretty big deal.
That wouldn't surprise me at all if he didn't clear that and was just I'm Vince, damn it.
Yep, with his cane. He was with Kane and The Undertaker.
Right. It's so weird seeing him now. He simultaneously looks so much older and so much younger than he used to on TV. And it's just weird.
It is weird. It's weird to see him not himself, not the bravado and the Vince McMahon, damn it. And just,
the strut,
I guess that's what controversy does to you. That's what, scandals, that's what it does. It's
what denying yourself sneezes does to you.
Yeah.
It's apparently a thing he does, hates sneezing.
Well, this is not all about this. This is about WWE's Crown Jewel. So let's get to the predictions. Keith, let's start with the kickoff show, and that is Sami Zayn going one-on-one with J.D. McDonough. It seems like Sami, it's been persistent with him in the Judgment Day. It seems like that is the thorn in the side of Sami Zayn. It just seems like he kind of was brought back into the picture. KO was moved to SmackDown. Sami is prominent right there. And that's what it should be. I know that he was a big part of the bloodline and he took a little time off. He had an elbow injury. He did his thing with KO, but the bloodline storyline, it focused around Sami. Sami is so good. And you saw his promo last week to start Raw. he is the guy. He is somebody that I want to see every night on Raw, SmackDown, whatever, NXT. Anytime I can see this guy, I want to see more of him. And I think that's what they did less of in the past. Again, injuries, the tag team, I get it. He can't be a focal point every week. Roman's not a focal point every week. I get it. And the storyline itself is kind of blah, but it's still there. It's still the main focal point for Raw and SmackDown. And, I'm all for it. I love it. But I think this is his time to step back up and be ready to go. If it's again with Jay, seems like they're doing something there. He's on his own. He's doing a little solo run on Raw. I'm loving it. I see absolutely no way that Sammy loses here. And if he does, it's going to be, disqualification or something like that for JD. Because he is part of the Judgment Day, and I say every week, Judgment Day, big. They start off Raw, they end Raw, blah, blah, blah. They're in the middle, they're in the end, they have all the titles, they have the briefcase, they have this, they have that. But Sammy is that guy. Sammy is the bloodline. Sammy was the bloodline storyline. Sammy was a big part of WrestleMania back-to-back years for a good reason. I see Sammy winning here quick. Maybe it's not a 1, 2, 3, and it's a 30-minute banger or an hour. I see Sammy winning here. I know you're a big Sammy fan. Let's hear it, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah. So this is going to be, you'll hear me say this a bunch, so our predictions here. This is going to be a really solid match. I feel like JD hasn't had the best chance to really show off what he can actually do. Even since just coming into NXT, originally when he first came in as Jordan Devlin before he changed to JD McDonough and anything like that. I think he's really good. So I'm hoping Sammy can pull that good kind of older style match out of him and everything. I'm always going to be excited for a Sami Zayn or a Kevin Owens match, regardless of what's going to happen in it. I actually feel like JD is going to win this one, though.
I thought so. I could see it in your facial.
It's because I'll get into more why I think it with another match later on. But I don't know. As much as I love Sammy, I also have to say I'm getting a little tired of him fighting the Judgment Day, which doesn't bode well for his promo from last week of just being I'll fight the Judgment Day forever. And it's all right, man. I say that and I don't want to have him keep fighting the Judgment Day, but at the same time, it's a great thing because if he's fighting the Judgment Day, he's fighting main people. He's staying on TV. He's not fading into obscurity again, which is something I don't want at all. I don't want him to go away again. So, you got to take what you got to take. So, yeah, I think JD's going to take it.
Yeah,
just because of what I'm thinking
by hook or crook,
and just what I'm thinking with later. It might be like you said. It might be something, some kind of shenanigans or whatever. Where, I don't know. Somebody JD wins by DQ, pulling an Eddie Guerrero on him, or smack the ground, throw the chair. Sammy holds it, and they turn around. One of those kind of things. But yeah, I'm going. JD.
Yeah, it makes sense. Both, I think. At the end of the day, that makes more sense. I just feel like for me, I want more Sammy. We haven't seen him much. He's back in the spotlight, and it's time for him to put up again. Then what you said. JD's part of the Judgment Day. JD needs a quick little win to continue this storyline, or else why would Sammy wins and what? They're done. So you're looking at logic. I'm using my heart here. So yeah, at the end of the day, JD will most likely win. But come on, Sammy, do it for us.
Oh, as with any other matches, I'm predicting against him right now. But no, I would love Sammy to win. I'd be very happy if he did.
Yeah, I dig it. Buddy, let's get to the next match. Cody Rhodes will go one-on-one with Damian Priest for absolutely nothing. It just seems like this is the most sensible pairing. It makes sense because they're still going, Judgment Day and Cody and Sammy and KO, and, it just kind of makes sense. They're just clashing. There's no real reason other than this is still a feud that's continuing, and maybe this is another chapter in this long-ass book. The story must end at some point, and this just seems like,
according to Trips,
Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Damian Priest, still holds the Money in the Bank briefcase. Seems like Rhea doesn't really want him to cash it in just yet. Maybe there's a perfect time, a perfect opportunity. But for now, let's do Cody and Damian Priest. And again, like you said in the beginning, this is another match that's going to kick ass. I want to see this. I want to see Cody and Priest. I think they can put up. Priest showed that at Backlash, and of course we know what Cody can do. Oh, yeah. I still think Cody. I don't see why Priest wins here. I feel like Priest is kind of that character in the Judgment Day where it's okay to lose, and he has a briefcase, so he can lose because he still has something that he can talk about next week on Raw. Cody is that guy. This is part of the storyline, and I think Cody or Damian Priest is Cody's adversity this Saturday, and he's going to show us that he can do whatever it takes to be the best. And I don't know what I'm saying here, but Cody
to be America.
Yes, Cody wins here. What do you got here, brother?
I have Cody also. This is one that for a little bit, like before, there was like rumors this was going to be a match ahead of time before that was like officially announced. And when it was rumored, I thought for a minute maybe they would do these two squaring off for the Money in the Bank briefcase. If that were the case, I would take Priest, definitely. But since it's not, I think it's going to be Cody. And Cody winning this one, me predicting Cody winning this one is part of the reason why I'm predicting JD to win in the pre-show. And I'll get to more of that again, no spoilers, later. But yeah, like you said, it just comes down to like, since it's not for anything, there's no real reason for Priest to go over. And like, if history has told us anything with Money in the Bank winners is that like, once you get that briefcase, you kind of start losing a bunch anyway. Like which Priest hasn't lost like a bunch, but like you lose bigger matches because like you have the briefcase. Like it doesn't really matter. It's not hurting you to take a loss with anything where they're totally trying to still, it's crazy to say, but like they're still like trying to build Cody up to like make him this like world beater to be able to rival Roman. And so to do that, you have him beat the biggest guy in the Judgment Day, which is arguably your biggest thing going on Raw right now. So yeah, it just makes sense for him to take it. And yeah, it doesn't make sense for Priest to win it without any real stakes to it.
Yeah, so. It's like the match with Sammy and JD. Like, why have Sammy win? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. How do you continue this if he wins? Oh, I beat you. I'm done. I'm on to the next. And that's kind of how it would be with Damian. Like, okay, I win. Cool. Best of luck, kid,
Yeah.
Go finish the story. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let's get to the next match. This is John Cena going one-on-one with Solo Sikoa. John Cena hasn't won a match singles match in over 2,000 days. And it seems like, he's on the fences here. Is he going to retire? Is he going to go back to Hollywood and come back another time? And it just seems like in the past when legends came back, they came back for a really big reason. It just seems like Cena is back just because of the strike or just because he had, his schedule was, cleared and he had some time. It just doesn't seem important as much as it is really important at the end of the day when you look back, in 10 to 15 years to see Solo and Cena in the same ring going one-on-one like that on paper, that seems like a big deal. But, even with the whole emotional promo Cena had last week on Saturday or on Friday night, I don't think that moved the needle for me. I don't know what he is trying to do. Of course, he's trying to put over younger talent. I get that. But for me, looking at it as a story, something's not adding up here. It's cool to see Cena. You get that pop, and you remember back in the day how awesome Cena was. And it just seems like maybe his time has ran out on his little short run with the WWE. And I'm okay with that. If we see him Raw 40, Raw 50, SmackDown 30, whatever, that is really cool, an anniversary show. Yeah. But here, I don't see how Cena wins. It doesn't make sense. Solo is, big part of the bloodline. And again, it's, maybe it's lackadaisical with the storyline and he's in the background and, Solo and all that, the thumb. I just don't see how Cena wins. It's just a treat to see Cena on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's a big name for Crown Jewel. It's a big name for Saudi. And that's the home. That's the home of WWE. Damn it. Cena's coming.
The pop for him in Riyadh is going to be explosive.
And that's why he's there, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I got Solo. What do you got here, Keith?
I also have Solo. I think we're going to differ some of this as we keep going along, but we're the same here still. But it's pretty much everything. Sorry. I got Solo here. It's pretty much the same as everything you just said. That it's just like Cena's at a point in his career like he doesn't need the wins. It's crazy the stat that he threw out of like he hasn't had a singles win in over 2,000 days. Like that's a wild thing to think about. But then it's wild to think about until you think about how his career has been over the past like couple of years with WWE. Like last year was almost the first year that he didn't have a single wrestling match for the entire year until I think it was like the very last SmackDown of 2022 when he had
him and Sammy
with him and
something. Yeah,
was it him? I think it was him and Owens versus Sammy and someone because the bloodline. Sammy was still in the bloodline. So like, but like it's crazy. Just like you hear that stat, and it's like, whoa, that's nuts. But it's like, well, that right there was 364 days of that. He had one match in all of 2022, and it was a tag match, which is so it's like a crazy stat to hear. But I mean, like I said, it's just he's at a point where he's just like that is the point of him being there now. Like, part of it is totally just because he needs a steady paycheck while the SAG-AFTRA strike is going on. Yeah, it's fine. No hate, no disrespect. I get it.
Yeah.
But like in doing with him wanting and needing to do that and everything, I think the best way for him to be relevant and do that is to put over the younger guys, and especially with everything they've done with Solo, pushing him to kind of be like the reincarnation of Umaga or Umanga if you're William Regal. Like they're doing it. They've done everything to make him Umaga besides making him get like the tattoos on his face, like having the paint on his face and all, like, and have him just start speaking like a savage and stuff. Like everything else about him is the same. He doesn't wear he's barefoot with the wrapped feet. He has the thumb taped up now like Umaga did. Like he's there with it. And like back in Cena's prime, that was an awesome feud. That was an amazing feud the two of them had. They had some just bangers together back at a time when like bangers weren't a regular thing or a countable thing in WWE all the time. So like, it's going to be good. Solo's going to win because there's so much more good to come out of it for WWE and for everybody for Solo to win than for Cena to win to get an extra pop in Saudi Arabia. I do feel like there's a small chance this is like one of those ones like what was it, like Greatest Royal Rumble when like the Saudi Crown Prince was like, I want Yokozuna to be there, and like no one had the heart to be like, well, he's dead, so instead we brought in this other actual sumo wrestler who's never wrestled before or since. So like there's a chance where the Saudi Crown Prince is just like, no, you go to hell. John Cena is winning the match. Yeah. And he's got to come out to, basic thugonomics instead. I want him with the chains and everything. Who knows? But if none of that is the case and it's just going to be as it would normally be, Solo's absolutely got to win.
Yep. Yeah.
Because there's also something, I feel like Solo is ultimately going to be part of like the crumbling of the bloodline. Like more of the crumbling, I should say, of the bloodline. And a great way to build your person to crumble and topple all of that is to have him beat John Cena.
Yeah, I think there's two things here. Cena coming back, like I referenced earlier, like it's just, okay, it's cool. That's what happens with legends. But sometimes, well, I think most of the times when legends come back, it's a big part of the story. And it just doesn't seem like Cena is doing anything for the bloodline. I mean, look at WrestleMania with Theory. What happened to that? I mean, that did nothing for Theory. So yes, beating Cena is impressive. Solo having that on his belt, that is really impressive. And two, it's kind of like the JD and Sammy match and Cody and Priest match. I mean, why have Priest win, and then why have Sammy win? It just doesn't make sense. So with this one, I think this is even a bigger example of why have Cena win? Just
exactly.
It doesn't make sense. Yep.
And that's no disrespect to Cena. I mean, like,
no, that's what he's there for.
The guy is a legend. There's a reason we're talking about him now and everything after not having a singles win for 2,000 plus days. But yeah, like there's so much less to be gained from him winning than from Solo winning. So like, why let him win for?
Makes no sense. It would be silly.
You let him win, you're going to end up spending more money for more pyro because you got to have a big pyro celebration for him because you won.
Exactly.
So, like, just let Solo win, save yourself some money, make everything make sense.
Yep. And go home,
Exactly.
Let's get to the next match here. This is for the WWE Women's Championship. Io Sky, your champion, will go one-on-one with Bianca Belair. We haven't seen her much. She returned a few weeks ago. And it's the same old Bianca, EST, best, greatest, fastest, strongest. And I don't see what they're doing here with her. I do love that she is now back into the title picture. And if you watch any of the streams, I'm not a huge fan of Io's character. I'm a huge fan of Io the person. But as a character, she doesn't do it for me. So it got me thinking, Keith, what the hell are we doing? Why do we insert Bianca? Well, we know somebody. Let's see. Jade is now in NXT. She's now with the WWE. What do you do? This is just me wishing, and I'm hoping Bianca wins the title at Crown Jewel, and somehow those two feud, maybe Rumble winner Jade, maybe something like that for Jade. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, why do you insert Bianca into the title picture to have her lose? You don't. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Io's not a strong candidate. She just doesn't seem like she's doing it for me. The whole thing with damage control, I still don't know what they're doing. Bailey is back into the picture. She seems like she's healthy. I don't know what you're doing, but I know Jade and Bianca sells at WrestleMania. I know Jade is going to win the Rumble. That is just without a shadow of a doubt. It just needs to happen. And what do? You have Bianca go one-on-one with Jade. It's just awesome. It's just something you want to see. I think it's too soon for Jade to go one-on-one with Becky, with Charlotte. I think this is a good feud to get the ball rolling. Again, maybe I'm hoping this happens. I just don't see Io winning. She doesn't do it for me. She's a great person, character-wise, on TV. I don't like it. It's not for me. I want Bianca. But then again, Keith, what have you been saying for years now? Turn her heel. I don't see it. She's still the best. She's still the strongest. She's still, I'm so happy. It's a
heel gimmick, though. It's such a heel gimmick. Like, what are you doing?
Yes. So I'm hoping we see that at WrestleMania. I'm hoping we see Jade win the Rumble. I'm hoping we get Bianca and Jade going one-on-one. I think that gives Jade enough time to train because we all know she needs it. I'm getting off the path here. Bianca wins. She is your new WWE Women's Champion. Keith, talk to me. What do you got, brother?
So I'm finding it really hard to disagree with you here because you're right. I love Io. There's so much that you just mentioned there that we could do just an entire stream recording, whatever you want to call it, just on a lot of the things you just said here because there's always so much to talk about when it comes to the booking of the women all the time.
Yeah, rightfully so too.
I love Io. I love everything about her as a wrestler. Her character, it's hard to even say to me. It's hard to even say like I don't like her character because like she doesn't even like really have one right now. Like it's so crazy that like she's the WWE Women's Champion, and she's just like this piece of like this stable. Like it's not even like she's leading Damage Control. Like Bailey is still very much the leader of Damage Control. And it's crazy because like I feel like they've kind of cooled off on it. So I don't know. Before getting all like too much into it, I actually have Io retaining. Stupidly, I'm hoping it's going to be she retains, and this is what makes Bianca snap and turn heel. Yes. I'm going to keep predicting it until it happens because it has to happen.
The weather
sooner or later here, you know. So I'm hoping Io retains, and it's what makes Bianca snap. But I could also totally see, I feel like what we're working toward ultimately is Io and Bailey feuding.
Yeah.
Because they were teasing it before.
Yeah.
It's kind of cooled off a little bit now because, like, I know Bailey was hurt for a little bit and everything, but she seems like she's back to everything, like you said. So, like, you know, maybe we're going to start getting back into that. If we are, I know I'm always the first one to be like, women's feuds don't need the title. I would want Io Bailey feuding for the title, though. So if that's where we're going with it, then it makes sense for Io to retain. I think more what it is for me of taking Io to retain is because, like,
you want something more.
I am now, and I have always been sick of the whole just like, here is this. It happens so much more with the women's division than the men's, but it happens all the time anywhere where it's just like, hey, popular star has returned. Popular star is getting a title shot. Popular star wins the title out of nothing. You know? And it's
sorry, you know, damn cat wants to get out.
You're good, man. Yeah, like it's, you know, it's, hey, here's popular star. Popular star is back. Popular star gets a title shot now, so popular star wins the title. Like, if you want to take the belt off of Io because she's not moving it for you the way that she should, fine. Build up to something for that, though. I don't want Bianca to come back, talk to our, you know, friend of the channel, Nick Aldis, one time, get her title match for it, not really be in a whole lot leading up to it, just get a title shot in Crown Jewel and then win it.
Yeah.
You're laying the foundation to make a new Charlotte Flair in my eyes. And that's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing that I want at all either, because I don't want that.
No.
You know? So yeah, I got Io retaining. It's probably more of a heart over a head thing here, but I want more out of it. I would like to see her break away from Damage Control and do more stuff, because I loved her. She didn't even have much of a character when she was a heel in NXT, when she was the NXT champion and she was a heel. It was so much better. She was just darker music coming out with the hood, and she would just attack people with like chairs and kendo stick and stuff. Her best theme. No one can touch her theme. Her theme kicks ass.
Yeah.
But just, you know.
Yeah. And I think it's more, for me, it's more of fantasy booking, you know, maybe reading the shit on the internet, Jade, winning the Rumble. It's going to have to be. It's not really going to be anything. We don't know if she's even able to do that, you know? Right. I just think that's what I want. And again, it's like, for me, picking the lesser of two evils. Like, we get Bianca, who just, you know, pretty much did what Charlotte Flair did 14 or 13 times, you know, or we get Io, who's, you know, great, and we love what she did in the past, but we're not really understanding what she is now, and what we know what she can be and what she should be. We're not seeing that. And I don't know, how many times can you watch the same thing? You know, it gets annoying, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is just seeing this, like, it's just rinse and repeat. And I don't know. I have faith. I have faith in Papa Trips.
Yeah.
I think we're going to retain, and he's hopefully going to do something good with us here.
Something.
Slow burning. Real slow burning, but slow burning.
Yeah, buddy. Well, let's get to it. Let's get to the next match. It's for the United States Championship. Your champion, Rey Mysterio, is going one-on-one with Logan Paul. Paul called out Mysterio after defeating Dylan.
So crazy.
Yeah, at the stupid crossover boxing fight.
Yeah.
I like it. I really think Logan is really trying. He's really trying to be a Trips guy. He's really trying to get the product over. I mean, you know, say what you want to say about Logan. That was a big time event. Maybe the way it ended was not what you wanted, but there were eyes on the product. And what did he do? He brought up the World Wrestling Entertainment. That's what you want out of somebody. That's what he did. He understands how to sell the product, and he's damn good at, you know, selling himself as a very competitive, a very opponent that's you could take serious in this fight. And I feel like that is what they're doing with Rey Mysterio. This is a tough one. I'm going to let you go first, buddy. What do you got here? You got Rey, the champion, or Logan Paul, the Rook, so to say, going one-on-one with a legend?
It's I feel like it might be a controversial call, but it's the call I'm making. I think Logan Paul is winning here. It kind of ties back into all the, like, a lot of the other stuff we said about just like, it doesn't make sense for this person, that person, the other person to lose or to win or to whatever. I mean, Ray as U.S. champion right now, what's it been doing for us?
Same thing with
what really is the LWO doing for us, to be honest? That's another whole other thing for another stream and another day. But it's in the same way that, like, not to the same level of prestige as the title is, but like when Bad Bunny won the 24/7 title, and then he was on Saturday Night Live later that week as the musical guest with it there. You want that. You want that. You want your title out in other stuff that's not just your shows. Do you really think Logan Paul is gonna, if Logan Paul wins the U.S. Championship, you really think he's not going to be on Impulsive every single time he's on Impulsive without that thing just slapped across him, showing that label off? You know, you're like, I'm the United States champion for the WWE.
Yeah.
All of his millions and whatever fans, the more that he does it, the more he's carrying that belt around. Sooner or later, some of them are going to be tuning in to your Raw, to your SmackDown to see, is Logan going to be on tonight? Was he going to be on there? You're going to bump your numbers with that.
Absolutely.
It makes a business sense thing. And aside from that, because I don't always like to make those decisions based on that, because like it sucks as a wrestling fan to think that way. But, you know, I love Ray. He can still really, really go, but he's not the Ray that he used to be. So he doesn't really excite me nearly as much as he used to anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock at him. It's literally just what time and life and age are.
Yep.
It's what happens, you know? So, like, that's okay. I don't know that necessarily Logan does it clean. I'd kind of like to even see it, like, not be clean, like have Santos get involved and cost them.
There we go.
I want, because with the LWO, I want Legado del Fantasma back. I want those three back together. Zelina, whatever. Carlito, welcome back. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't really care. Ray, legend.
Yeah.
Really care. Those three as Legado del Fantasma in NXT were top tier. They can be top tier again. Santos is a fantastic heel. He has no business being in a face stable with this. He needs to be leading his heel faction that he had. The suits, the music. Their theme was just all of it. Bring it all back.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
So this might be another one that's like hard overhead, but I do think with that piece of it anyway, with the interference, but I do think Paul takes it. What do you got?
Yeah, I got two things here. One, when you see a celebrity like this, you want to see them consistently. You want to see them constantly on the TV, and that's what we got from Logan the past few weeks. Again, you saw what he did at the crossover boxing event. He brought up WWE. That is great. We've seen him a lot recently, and that is what you want. You want to see if the celebrity wants to stay, if he wants to be part of the WWE, and it really looks like he wants to be part of the WWE, and I'm all for it. You know, I said it with Io. I love Io as a person. I hate her character on screen. It's probably, vice versa with Logan. I can't stand the kid, but I think he's got it. He's got the it factor like Bobby Roode. He is somebody I want to see as champion one day. And a lot of people are saying the big question here, Keith, is do you give it to a social media influencer? It's not a big question, bro. It's a yes. It's a big fat yes. You give it to Logan for all the reasons you said. It's on impulsive. I think he still does TikToks. I think he still does YouTube shorts. I mean, you see him every now and then on certain, MTV shows, maybe, I don't know, but he gets around, and that's what you want. And that's what I think we're going to get with Logan. I think it's a big win for him, again, by hook or crook. I don't think it's clean. I think that makes more sense to, tell the story, and we'll see more of it.
Yeah. It's literally like what it all comes down to. Like I said, I kind of hate putting it that way because it like takes away like the kayfabe, maybe the magic of wrestling, magic to some extent of wrestling with all, but it is what it is now, especially with there being
what it is
now, especially with there being like legitimate like competition again for them, whether or not anybody else thinks AEW is on WWE's level or whatever. It's another
Yeah.
It's another wrestling company that has a presence on cable television on a weekly basis. The WWE is the only game in town doing that for 16, 18 years, something like that. Like they were the only game in town on regular television. They're not anymore. They need those ratings. They need those pops. They need all of that.
Yeah.
Logan Paul's going to give that to him. Logan Paul has a massive following, and he's going to if he has that belt, he's going to take it everywhere.
Yeah. And he wants it too. I think that's a deciding factor for me. He wants it, and he's proved it, as much as you hate
him. And that's exactly. Yeah. And I didn't specify that either. Yeah. Him as a person can go below.
Yeah.
Him as a WWE superstar, great.
I kind of did.
He does really good in the he does really good in the ring. You can see that he cares about it. And it's so much different than I feel like they started teasing kind of doing it with your Bad Bunny was a really good example, a really good person to be carrying the 24/7 strap, but also the dude, oh my God, it was right around when Bad Bunny won it. There was also, Colin Jost won the Andre the Memorial Battle Royal tournament. Dude, come on.
Yeah.
There's the right and
that
the
was
wrong
a one-time
way.
thing. Yeah.
That's what you don't want to
see.
But exactly. You don't want to, and even though it was a 24/7 title, it was joke. There was some race car driver won it too. Probably already a lot of crossover in those fan bases though. So that's not really moving too much more. Logan Paul though is a whole different thing. He cares about it. It's not just somebody who's going to bring in a new crowd, and it's somebody that's gonna care about holding it too. It's not Pete Rosenberg when he won the 24/7 title, just being like, oh, look, I did it. Cool. Yeah. No one cares. He's not bringing in anybody new. He doesn't really care. It's just, he's marking out because he's a mark, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Logan's putting the work in. It makes sense for him to win it.
Yeah. I'll end it with this. I don't like saying it, but I really do think it's a game changer. I think Logan wins the title off of Ray. Again, hook or crook, it doesn't matter. I think it's a big deal. I think the call is going to be great. I think that's what you want out of a social media influencer who is probably the biggest, top one or two, But enough about Logan. We talked about Logan for far too long. Let's get to the 3 championship matches. Let's start with the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley, your champion, will go one-on-one with Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, Zoe Starks. This is going to be really cool just because you don't know, and that's why I love Fatal 5-Ways or usually Fatal 4-Ways. It's just you don't know what you're going to get. Here, I think we know what we're going to get. We're going to get an ass-kicking match. I think Rhea's going to I'm going to predict here Rhea's going to still come out on top. But I think this is what you want. I'm a big fan of Rodriguez. I love that they brought back Nia. I think that's really important for Rhea's run. Shayna, you could talk about Shayna for 30, 40, a whole hour, and I think we all can agree that she is somebody we want to see in the championship title match. And Zoe Starks, new and upcomer. We know her from NXT, but the fan that watches Raw probably doesn't know her as well. She is just perfect for this match. And this is just something you want to see. You want to see this kind of match at Crown Jewel. It's good, to have a Fatal 5-Way women's match in Saudi. Just love seeing that. And 2, I think this makes Rhea look much stronger because you have Raquel who you can believe in. Yes, you can hate and you can mock Nia, but she is bigger than life. She is somebody that you can say, oh, damn, okay, we can see this happen. Of course, we know Shayna and Zoe, she's going to be in there maybe to get the pin, but Rhea wins here, and I think it's going to be not like Roman where he stacked them, but I feel like it's going to be something like that where it's just a dominant performance because I think that's what she needs. I think that's what we're missing here. I think she needs a big, dominant match, a big, dominant win, and stack all these ladies and walk out as champion. That's what I got, Keith. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. I have the 5-way makes me nervous. Because the 5 ways and having a 5-way match for the title is an easy way to, if you want to take the title off of Rhea without really ruining Rhea, because Nia can pin Zoe Stark.
Exactly.
She wins the title. So it has me a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. I also have Rhea predicted because Mommy's always on top. So I have her winning, and it's another one. Honestly, I'm worried about it, but like it's another one that, again, that's the theme we have on these predictions here today. Like,
yeah,
it just makes more sense. Like, I know there's been like a lot of talk of like people not being super happy with like Rhea's run. She hasn't defended it enough, and this and that and the other. And like,
yeah,
I don't disagree with all that much
to an extent.
She hasn't really done a whole lot of defenses and stuff. But this is, for as much as this is like like a 5 ways an easy or like the good way to like get the title off of her if you want to get it off of her without her looking weak. This is also a really good way to just be like, okay, yeah, sorry we haven't had 4 Rhea matches that you really liked, but now here's her beating 4 other competitors at once in a convincing fashion. You know,
yeah,
have something where she is like kind of, you know, like, because it's a 5-way, so like there's going to be the split offs and stuff like that, but like have her dismantle each one of them like one by one.
Yeah,
you know, and like incapacitate, you know, she does something and busts Zoe up real bad, so Zoe's just out for a while on the outside, and she moves on to Nia next or whoever, and you know, end it with it's just 2 of them left while everyone else is kind of broken and beaten around the ring, and she beats them too, and it's just like, there you go. That's why I'm the champion, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be a good way to do it. So yeah, even though it's been like a longer reign, I still just don't think we've seen everything we can see from Rhea. So I think she retains here so we get to see more.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I wouldn't put the strap on any of these ladies now. Maybe
not yet.
In the future, I can see Starks. I can't see Shayna. Nia, I feel like, was just brought in to be that dominant woman figure for Rhea to crush. Let's get to it, buddy. Let's get to the next match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Your champion, Seth Rollins, will go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. I love Seth. I love Drew. This match is going to it's going to kick ass.
Oh yeah,
they just put up every single time. I just don't know. You know why is this happening? You know, yes, it's going to sell and it's going to kick ass, like I said, but you go from Shin and then out of nowhere it's Drew, and it doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm looking at it as a podcaster who watches wrestling religiously, and I'm looking too much into it. Storyline doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a kick-ass match. I can't wait. Maybe they're doing this to say, hey, Drew, you want to stay? The contract, I know it's a rumor. Maybe he's already signed. Like I said, he probably signed, but this just seems like it's out of nowhere, and maybe that's what they're doing. Hey, we still believe in you, kid. You're going to go one-on-one with the champion. You're going to lose, but it's going to be a great match, and you're going to love doing it, and you're going to get paid a shit ton of money because you are, you know, main event. I got Seth here winning. I know that, you know, we hear it every now and then. His back hurts. You know, he could take some time off. It's he has a kid, you know, we hear the excuses, but that's not Seth. Seth is not taking time off. Drew is not going to magically win out of nowhere. If so, they're going to build to that because that just makes sense. That's what you do with Drew. I don't see this feud ending, but I do see Seth winning. What do you got here?
So this is going to be match of the night. I'm calling that. This is probably I feel like this is going to end up being the match of the night. This was like the hardest one, I feel like, for me to predict. Because like I in the past I've always been I've been saying like every other like Rollins feud, it's just like it's not time for him to lose it yet. Like let him build it up more. It's not the time to lose it yet. Let him build it up. I feel like we've had that chunk of it though. You know, we've had that piece of it kind of run through. It's built up. It's good. The title can change hands here. I originally had Drew was going to win. He still may. I don't really know. I think I'm going to put it this way. Seth does not retain in this match. I think he might beat Drew, and then Priest cashes in. And where that's coming from, so that's finally tying all my everything together. So I think JD wins in the pre-show. Priest loses on the main show. At some point during the night, because we get backstage stuff with pay-per-views now, which is still crazy to me, but whatever. At some point, there's a backstage thing where since there's been this still kind of friction between Priest and JD in the Judgment Day, JD makes some kind of comment or something to Priest that he didn't mean it that way, but like, hey, I beat my guy, you didn't beat your guy. You know, what's that saying about you and me? All right, so then we get to the World Heavyweight Championship match. It goes along as it goes. Drew really beats the hell out of Seth. They have a great match. Seth is broken, beaten, scarred, and then
boom,
Priest cashes in. And it would make even more sense because like there was that, what was that, last week or the week before, like in the background shot where Rhea was talking to Drew. So it might have been something where then we find out on Monday Night Raw next Monday we find out that
I love it.
Rhea was like, that was the deal. Drew really beat the crap out of him. And then Priest cashed in, and in exchange, you know, sorry, Priest, but you got to take on Drew now as your first challenger. He's your first feud. And then, you know, we figure that out from there. I don't know that Drew dethrones him right away. Maybe that's where the contract negotiation is coming in. Is it's like if you're re-signing, you can beat Damian. If you're not, you're taking the pin. You're eating the pin. So it's tough. I don't want to say that my official prediction is a Priest cash in as the winner of this match because I don't really know. I think it has to be Seth retaining. I guess for the sake of us for our predictions piece that we're going to be putting around, we'll say that Seth retains and then Priest cashes in. Because I don't think it makes sense for Drew to win and then have Priest cash in
like a triple threat.
That would be
that too.
That could be cool, but no, because I originally had Drew was going to beat Seth, and then maybe there would be a Priest cash in, but it doesn't make sense for. I don't want to see Priest fail to cash in.
Yeah.
No, because we've had two of those like pretty close together already, which is bad. So I don't want to see Priest fail to cash in. And I don't want to see Drew beat Seth, like dethrone Seth, decent reign with it, and then lose it to Priest immediately after.
Yeah, no, I dig it.
Seth will retain, and then Priest is going to cash in.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if I'm the only one, but I feel like Seth is character. A, I still don't understand what it is, and B, I think it's stale. I'm tired of the laughing. I don't get it anymore. Yeah, I love who he is and what he stands for. Absolutely. I love that the crowd just goes nuts, ape shit when he comes out, the theme song and all that. It might be time for Seth. You know, he did it. He won that title, and that is great. They're never going to take that away from him. He's the first, winner. He won that for the first time. He's the inaugural champion. That's great. That's all fine and dandy. But something has to give here. I just can't see a Shin match, a Drew match, and then what's next? Honestly, what do you do if Seth wins? I don't know. I'm still going to take Seth because I feel like that's just who he is. He's going to just do what he does every single night and just prove us wrong. I'm going to go with Seth here, but buddy, it's main event time. Let's get to it for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. That's a lot to say. Roman Reigns, your champion, will go one-on-one with Keith L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yes, WWE's biggest success story this year. And it's just something special to see this happen. Was it too quick? Maybe it is. I don't know. I necessarily don't think so. I think this is another part in the chapter of LA Knight's career to prove to us, to prove to Trips that he can go one-on-one with Roman Reigns. I'm not going to say that he needs more work in ring or on the mic, but I do think for a WWE character, he does need a little more. I'm not saying he can't win the championship and that wouldn't be believable. I think he can win the title and it would be believable. And I think if it's anyone, it's got to be LA Knight. He's so hot. It just makes the most sense to have him beat Roman Reigns. I don't know if he's ready for what that all entails. And that's a lot. What Roman's done, it's just impressive. And I think if someone's going to take that, he's got to step up and be the Roman Reigns. Yes, we don't see Roman Reigns every week, and that's okay. Do I like it? No. Did I like it when Brock did it? No. But I understand why they do it. And he has leukemia, or he did, and he can't do it every single week. It just makes sense. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if that stays with you. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say here is Roman's going to win, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. And I think this is, for me, this is what I need to see. I need to see LA Knight prove it in the ring. He's proved it on the mic. He's proved it with merch. He's proved it with everything you can see. You see him on commercials. You see him on radio spots. You see him all over the place. He is that guy that you want to sell the crowd to, and you can hear it. I mean, they don't need piped in noise for him. He gets it. It is something that it's special. I'm not going to compare it to Kofi Mania. I'm not going to compare it to the Yes Movement, because I think that's different. But it's still the same concept. It's still the same idea. We are backing him because we love what he is. We love what he stands for. Roman Reigns is just a different person. You know, he's just, yes, he's the head of the table. He is, you know, the guy that's carrying the WWE. He's the greatest thing right now in pro wrestling. And we have someone called MJF. And I would dare to say Roman Reigns is, you know, 1A and MJF is 1B. I think that's how good he is, even if we don't see him every single week. I'm getting kind of wordy here, but I'm still going to pick Roman. I just want LA Knight to step up, and I really think he can. I want to see it, and I think this is why we see it. People say, what is he doing going one-on-one with Roman? It's not time yet. He can't lose yet. He can lose. He can lose, and he'll be fine. He will lose, and he will be fine. Keith, talk to me, brother. What do you got?
So we're still in this point where, like, if you're betting against Roman, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say more than anyone, but like I have been on the LA Knight train since NXT.
Oh yeah.
I have been on the LA Knight train really since NWA, but
yeah,
I don't have to be that hipster about it. No, I will say at the very least, since I loved him and everything in NWA, Shoes of a Champion, all that, but like I can pinpoint it. It was when he was feuding with Grayson Waller at first at NXT, and there's the one episode where he pulls up in the parking lot in like a Ferrari and starts a promo as he gets out of the car. And let me talk to you. And as he's just working his way through, and he gets to the curtain, just goes, "Hit my music," flawless,
goosebumps,
beautiful. Yep. Ew. And you talk about goosebumps this week. Oh my God, that was literally the best contract signing I have ever watched in wrestling history. Yeah. At this point, they're a parody of themselves. People are getting put through a table. There's a fight. There's everything. They did all of those things, but it didn't feel stale because of the way that it happened. Roman making his entrance, raises the belt and just L.A. And then him just doesn't even look at him. Just walks past. He's just doing his entrance. There just happens to be someone standing here, doesn't give anything about who he is. Walks past, gets in the ring, does it all, sits down at the head of the table, doesn't even give Roman the chance to. Just the utter disrespect. The guy can do no wrong in my head. In my eyes, that he can do no wrong at all. He's not going to beat Roman. I love him to death. He's not going to beat Roman. And it would honestly, in my opinion, be bad if he did beat Roman here. Because I'm like, I've been thinking about it since this match came up. I've been like trying to run through in my head, like, can you think of anybody who got to the main roster and the first title they won, period, in WWE at all, even in the NXT era and stuff, the first title they win is like the main world title.
The top.
Like, nobody has done that. Austin held the IC belt and tag belts and stuff ahead of time. Triple H had, European, everything else before he won. Rock, they all had. You have to build to it. You don't just come in and get handed that, unfortunately. So if he did, that's going to give him the bigger chance to falter. Literally, all that needs to come out of this match is he can lose the match. He can get pinned by Roman as long as it's a Roman match where it's like he needs Jay to come out and distract or something to get the win, get like, all you need is like 50 to 30, like a minute. You need like a minute of Roman looking potentially helpless. And you need like those moments like when he fought Sammy, where it's just like, it's
going to happen
into that Sammy match. Like, Sammy wasn't going to win that match.
Yeah.
But there were how many moments?
But for a second,
they're gonna.
Yep.
And that's all we need. We need a few of those moments in this, and LA Knight is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And Roman's going to win, but there's such a potential for just rising his stock even more because he's the hottest thing in WWE right now.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And again, what I said, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Like, does he have to prove to Trips or to the doubters that he can do it?
I don't think he needs to prove anything. The biggest criticism I've seen scrolling through TikTok the other day, somebody, there's those ones where it's just like a bunch of pictures just scroll across, and one was just like
same old shit,
whatever, like wrestling like hot takes or whatever, wrestling opinions.
Oh, of course,
some nonsense like
to
that.
Get the views.
There's been one that I saw that somebody was just like, his finisher would be better if it was like on a high flyer, like he doesn't make it look as good. And I was like, I don't think that's true. But two, if that's the only criticism you can find of this guy, like, that's fine. That's fine.
Roman jumps and punches someone. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, that's not like, So like he
pretends to load his fist. Like, how's that any different?
Wax it off and then So I mean, he's not the most like exciting worker in the ring, but he doesn't have to be.
Exactly.
His character is not that. He's not nothing about him is like, I'm flipping and jumping off the ropes and stuff. But even with it not being that, he hasn't done it like as much lately, but like he's done the spot where he just runs and just does a straight jump to the top turnbuckle, grabs and superplexes off. Like he's got agility.
Yeah.
I think he has everything. We just need to, people love him. They're going to be hard pressed to not love him. Yeah. So he can lose this match and then
just be fine. Yeah.
Cool. Let him lose this. And then there's already the seeds planted for him and Logan Paul. So Logan Paul's going to win the U.S. title. He loses this here. Leave Roman alone. Move on.
Yeah, please leave the bloodline alone.
Move on to Roman. Move on to Logan Paul. Feud with Logan Paul for the U.S. title. Have him eventually win the U.S. title. But
dude,
that's the first title he gets.
Yeah.
The dots are here. Let's connect them.
Yes. We connect the dots right here on the UW Pod. Keith, let's take it home, buddy. Give the people what they want. How can they find you?
You all already know. So I'm on X at Keith of the Ring. I'm on Instagram at _Keith of the Ring, even though I'm not on there all that much. And on TikTok at Keith of the Ring. I'm doing a little bit more on there, but
the TikTok.
It's me in a nutshell.
Yes, sir. And you can find us right here. You're watching us right now on the Fanatics Network. That's YouTube. That is just Twitch. That is every single thing. We got TikTok. We got the Instagram. We got the X. We got everything. So follow us on the Fanatics Network. It's a great time. It's not just wrestling. It's sports. It's entertainment. It's watch-alongs. It's everything you can imagine. Balled up to one. And it's just great stuff. The website, The Fan, so that's thefanent.com. And of course, you can find us on X at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. Have a great Saturday. Let's go, baby. Peace.